Hey guys, I know it's been a while. As you know, a lot has been happening the last few months. A lot. Um, so many changes for the good, for the better. I am sitting on a super fuzzy. I love these things. I don't know if you've seen them online, but they're like the boneless chairs and couches. And I got one of these, and I got one because it was easier for me as a girl to be able to carry furniture like this alone, solo. Because what it comes in a box, right? And then you just open the box and it unfolds on its own, and it's like super soft too. And it surprisingly like holds up its structure, for being boneless. I just love it because like you get it right in a box, and you open the box and it just unfolds, and you don't need no man. Oh man, you don't need no man to help you carry no furniture. Okay, and don't even get me started on that with the professional movers that are male that I've worked with before. I don't even want to get started on that. You guys know my stories, but I could do this 100% on my own and get some nice, fuzzy, cozy furniture that I could chill in. Um, like this chair that I love. Um, and like not have to rely on some stupid man to like come around and like set it up for me. Look, it's like actually easier. Well, it's like, yeah, it's better. You can see it like from this angle. I have the phone I have right now. I can't like flip it around, so it's a more simple like phone. So it's a Google phone, so you can't like I can't like flip it around and show you guys. But yeah, so that's my cozy chair. I love it. But yeah, pretty much the reason why um, I've been getting like, I might actually turn this light on. It's a little dark in here. This kind of furniture is because it's like super soft. So that's actually another reason. But yeah, the main one is like so I don't have to like rely on anyone else to like help me carry my fucking furniture or some dude. Oh, I just turned this up. Okay, like that's better. Actually, really like this light. Um, so yeah, that's why I got it. That's better. That's much better. I had to turn the heat up because it's been cold, even though it's spring. It's still been cold out. For me, like, it's still cold. I don't know. I don't know how other people feel in New York City. I think it's still cold. That is much better, that light, actually. I meant to turn that on earlier. It makes the room look really nice. I have another lamp that um I don't really like the lighting from that as much. So, yeah, so many changes, as you guys know. Moving back to New York City the last couple months. Well, it's been, yeah, oh my God, it's been a while now. Um, it's been a couple months already. This is crazy. Time has blown 3 months. So, yeah, well, I think like technically since my official move back, like official move in, not just staying in hotels, it's been like 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months. So I guess that's not like that long, but like it feels like forever. It feels like longer than it's been. So I'm just up late right now. I'm up very late, but I didn't sleep well last night because I meant to go get some groceries even though I'm leaving town. I'm leaving town. I gotta stop saying that. Uh, coming from like a smaller city to New York City, I mean, I just gotta stop saying the word town. Um, I'm leaving the city. I'm gonna call it the city because it is the city, the greatest city on earth. I'm leaving the city in, oh my God, shit. Less than a week actually. I'm gonna be leaving for like a few days. So I'm going to Ultra Miami, so super excited for that. I have wanted to go to this festival for like over 10 years now. Um, since I was like probably like when did I first hear about it? When I was like 20, 21. Actually, probably when I was 19, I wanted to go to this. So this is like a huge deal, like, but you know, um, I think it's still gonna be just as fun at like 34 as it was maybe would have been forever ago, especially since um, I'm a lot more discerning now. So if anyone, any creep or like narc tries to approach, they're gonna like regret it. So yeah. But anyway, oh my god, my eye's so itchy. Yeah. But I'm gonna be going to that. That's gonna be fun, and then coming back. Like the thing is, like, I mean, I really like obviously I'm not gonna turn down going, like I'm still going to the festival. I guess like I just feel like since I just got back, like I just finally moved back home, what I consider home to New York City, to the Northeast. I feel like kind of annoyed because I don't really like to like travel, you know, like right after I move back, like, you know, move back to somewhere I actually want to be, like, and want to live. Because I just feel like I just want to like stay put, you know. So, I don't want to like travel right when I get move here, you know. And I know it's only like 2 months, like 2 months later. That's not bad. I've already been back for like a couple months, but I still just don't like to just like fly out, you know, fly out of the city and travel like when I just literally moved here. Like, but I'm gonna do it for like a few days and then come right back. I just don't like to like, I don't know, travel a whole lot like right after like I move, you know. It's just, I don't know. I like to wait a bit and kind of like, you know, get grounded in like my new place. But yeah, so I'm gonna be going there, leaving New York and then coming back. It's kind of nice because I'm like not too far from like a LaGuardia airport. So that's like a more manageable airport than JFK because JFK is insane. Like, I don't know if you guys know New York City, but like there is traffic here at all hours, even like Sunday at like 2 a.m. Like, you could run into a lot of traffic. So, it may be a tiny island, but like sometimes it can take you like 2 hours to go like half a mile. It's insane. So, yeah. And another reason to go slow to drive, another reason I think like for the traffic here is like you have to drive super slow. Like the city is full of, you know, speed cameras and like just all kinds of stuff where you can get like a ticket and all that. So um so yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Also, there are a lot of potholes in New York City, even more than like a lot of the Midwest. So like literal craters in the ground, and it's because the government of New York City, it's just like so fucking corrupt. Because I live in like a newer development, like an area with like a lot of newer developments, and like it's like a super rich and like up and coming area of New York City. Uh, it's basically like right across from like Manhattan. So like when you like walk down to the parks here, you see the Manhattan skyline and all that. It's like basically like a one stop subway ride like away from Manhattan. So it's actually closer to like Midtown Manhattan where I live than like a lot of other parts of Manhattan to get to Midtown Manhattan. So it's actually pretty cool. And like it's a newer, you know, area. Like it's, you know, it's up and coming, like it's all these new developments, and like in my area it's like pothole central, which is like super annoying. There's like so many potholes around here, like, and they're not just potholes, they're literal craters, like sinkholes in the fucking ground. So if you go over those and you're going like over like 15 miles an hour, like your car's gonna get like destroyed, like it's gonna get fucked. Like the other day, I hit one and it was so bad, like my whole car shook. I just thought like I'd broken the car. It was bad. Like the potholes around here are seriously like terrible, and a lot of the contractors in New York City, like they won't really like properly like fix the potholes. They'll just put like a little like tiny like slat, like, you know, thin sheet of like this material over it that like literally washes away with the rain. Like they don't do They don't fix them properly at all. So people's cars get destroyed all the time and the city doesn't care. So it's really fucked up. So I have to be super careful about this entire area around me because it's just filled with like craters in the ground whenever I drive. It's crazy. And you would think, oh, New York City, like it's like the richest city in the world. It's the most expensive city in the world. Like, and you're paying what, the highest rent in the country or the world. Like, you'd think that the government would like, actually fix the potholes in the road. Like, no. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But yeah, a lot has changed in the last like few months. I'm moving back to New York and living in a really amazing, like really like like a luxury apartment. Well, they call it like luxury buildings here, but like basically they're just like really nice apartments with like floor to ceiling windows, which I have. Floor to ceiling windows are a big deal in New York City because basically, you can see the skyline right from out your window because the windows go from the floor to the ceiling. And you get a lot of light, and that's very important in New York. Living in the city, getting a lot of light in your apartment. Um, because a lot of apartments here are dark, like dingy inside, like super dark, and they're depressing kind of to live in. So you get a lot of light. Um, you can see the outdoor activity, the skyline, all that. So yeah. And also in a lot of these luxury buildings, like I live in, they have rooftop lounges. You can go chill, work. That's important for me because I work remote, so I can go and work in the lounge, chill. See the entire skyline from there. It has excellent skyline views. So where I live, I have a better view of the skyline than people who are like literally living like on Fifth Avenue or like wherever, like in Manhattan. Like I have a better view because think about it, like when you actually like live like in Manhattan and you go up to like a rooftop, like, or well, I guess if you go to a rooftop, you see the skyline, right? But like you see a lot of buildings really up close, so you're not like really like seeing the skyline. You're in it, you're in the skyline, but like you're not seeing it, because you have to be like a little bit of a distance away. So that's kind of like how when I'm in my building and I go to the rooftop and I see the entire skyline of New York City, I can see that because I'm not like in the thick of it. And in the thick of it, I mean you actually like live in central Manhattan or midtown Manhattan or whatever, and you look around, but you can't see the skyline because you're like in the middle of all the buildings, right? But like when you go away for a bit, which is where I live, across the river basically, and I go down to a park or something, I see the entire skyline. So I like that. I prefer that actually, to like living in it. And then when I go walk around, I can't see the skyline, right? So yeah, I live a bit of a distance away. Um, so I'm like 10 minutes away. So if I get my car and drive, I am a 5 to 10 minute drive away from Midtown Manhattan. So I prefer that, honestly. Like I basically feel like I'm in Manhattan, but I'm basically just in a newer area, meaning newer developments, newer buildings, luxury buildings, floor to ceiling windows, all glass, pristine wood floors, clean, no rodents, that New York City apartments are famous for, rats, roaches, all that. None of that shit. That's not going to be in a luxury building. So basically by having moved into a luxury building like I did with all these amenities, the rooftop lounge, getting to see the entire skyline, living in a trendy neighborhood. I could go out right now. What is it, like 3 in the morning? Actually, it's later, and find 24-hour supermarkets that are really high end if I want to, because I live in a trendy up and coming neighborhood, which is actually has sometimes even more to offer than a lot of like living in actual Manhattan, because a lot of things in Manhattan are, like super old, super historic, falling apart, all that. But this area is like all like new development. So that's pretty much why a lot of, young professionals choose this area over like a lot of Manhattan. Because again, a lot of Manhattan has those old buildings that, nobody really wants to like live in. They're super old, falling apart. Walk up, stairs, infestations, you know, just all these things. But these newer buildings, these newer developments don't have those problems. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much where I live. I'm not living in, you know, some old, like, dingy, you know, building, like, that's falling apart. Like, no, thank you. Um, I would not live in New York City if I had to live in one of those buildings again. I have lived in walk-ups before in New York City, not doing it again. And I'm pretty fit. Like you know, you guys saw I lost like pretty much all the weight because I am getting treated properly now for my illnesses. My insulin resistance, which is very severe, extremely severe, uh, for my metabolic syndrome, my PCOS. So because I'm getting the proper medications I need now, even though I've had to fight my insurance. I had to fight my health insurance with phone calls almost every day, uh, letters from doctors, all that for weeks. But I finally got it. I finally got my medication because they tried to take it away. Um, I was only on it, right? I was only on my medication for not even, let's see, May, June, July, August. Not even 6 months, but it was working. It stabilized me, right? Because it stabilized my weight. Stabilize my fucking weight. Because if you're not fucking fighting insulin resistance, right, which makes you fucking overweight and makes you gain like 50, 60, 70 pounds in not even a month. And that's, well, not even like a few months, right? That's what happened in my case. Then your body stabilizes, right? Your weight stabilizes. 6 months, right, on my medication. The insurance tried to fucking take it away. And I was like, oh, no, 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 we're not doing this shit. Not right, not in here, not right now. Not here, not now. You're not gonna fucking play with me. So I had to be on the phone with my health insurance every day, fighting them, tooth and nail, doctors, approvals, all this shit, you guys. It was fucking hell. Why do I, as a patient who's fucking sick, why do I need to call and fight with all of these insurance companies, you know, doctors, all that, just to get my fucking treatment? This is America. And I'm a nurse, you know, and I still have to fight and advocate for myself just to get the medications I need. So I had been on the phone with them for weeks, fighting and fighting every day until they finally fucking approved it. I had to fight tooth and nail. And even though they approved it, they only approved it monthly. So that means that I have to go in every month, inconvenience myself to my pharmacy, which is actually a far away, meaning I have to walk, like it's like a 20-minute walk, because I don't think there's a lot of like, well, there is a bus route, but like I don't like to take that route because I have to walk through the hood. So it's either that or I have to walk far, very far to get to the pharmacy, which I don't want to do because it takes me through a hood, or I have to take an Uber, which is $20. So they're basically saying you have to spend $20 every time you want to pick up your medication. That's basically what it is. Because before they let me get my meds every like every 3 or 6 months, and it was a lot more convenient, but now I have to come in monthly to pick up a monthly supply. And before I could get like 3-6 month supplies, but now they're not allowing that because they're tight, right, with their money. They don't want to spend money on the patient. They don't want to spend money to help you, to treat you. That's the whole thing with insurance companies. It's all about the bottom line. They don't want to have to spend money out of their pocket to help you, even though that's kind of stupid on their part, because if they help stabilize you and your fucking health, then that means they're going to end up paying out less in the long run if you're stabilized, which I am now. But even though I'm paying them out of my own pocket. My company's paying them every month. You know, they're getting paid very well, but they don't want to pay out for me, for my meds. So I had to fight, and I have my meds now, finally. And I'm stabilized. I'm stable. But I'm only good. They told me, my insurance told me I'm only good for 6 months. And then in 6 months, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? I have to fight. I have to fight all over again, like I just did the last month. In the last month, fight them all over again, tooth and nail, to get the doctor's letters, the authorizations, everything. They said every 6 months, you basically have to prove that you can still take this medication, that we're going to still pay for it by, doctor's notes, labs, test, all this. So I have to prove yet again, even though they know based on my medical history, doctor's notes, everything, that this medication is something I need to take for the rest of my life, and it's stabilized me. They still want me to prove to them every 6 months that yes, I still need the medication and I still qualify, even though they know I need to be on this for the rest of my life to be stable. Yeah, that's the insurance companies. So I'm just floored about that. I'm extremely stressed out, as you can see in my face, and I had to fight them. And they told me in 6 months I basically have to fight them again, like I just did in the last few weeks, with again the phone calls, calling the doctors, getting the doctor's notes, the labs reports, the blood work, all this stuff to prove to them. Unfucking real, right? Unbelievable. So in order to keep my health stable, I have to keep fighting. Every 6 months, I have to fight. Yeah. I'm over it. You guys can tell how stressed I am. And this is coming from somebody like myself who has relatively good health insurance, okay? And you can see how stressed the fuck I am. Imagine other Americans who don't have, their employer or whoever helping with their health insurance. It's even more stressful. So yeah, it's a nightmare. Insurance in this country is a nightmare. So yeah, my health has stabilized. In the last few months, I've been stable. Before that, I was not stable. I was fluctuating. I was all over the place. My insulin resistance was really bad. I was all inflamed. You could tell in my videos, my face, everything. I was in a lot of pain. It was not fun. It's not fun. It was not fun dealing with all these health issues all the time. And just recently getting stabilized again and being told by my insurance, by the way, we don't really trust you. We don't really believe that you're taking this medication for, because you actually need it for health reasons. So you have to prove to us every 6 months that you actually need it, even though they know I need it. So, oh my God. Unbelievable. It should be fucking illegal. It should be a fucking crime that they're allowed to get away with this shit. So, and I mean, the worst part is I have had to struggle and try to find a doctor in New York City that isn't going to bully me, that isn't going to talk down to me, that isn't going to, try to take my shirt off and touch me without consent. I have had that happen with multiple fucking female doctors, by the way, in New York City, that I have met up with to try to establish care for my chronic long-term, health conditions, illnesses, that I want them to, continue to take care of me. It's very simple. I have been obviously found something that's worked for me the last year and stabilized me finally after years of, living with unstable health. So in the last year, I found something that works, a routine. Now, I'm trying to get these doctors to jump on board with me and continue this routine that's obviously been working. But when I sit down with them in the office and try to establish, what I've been doing that's been working, the treatment that the other doctors have put me on, they don't want to hear it. At first, I saw a Brazilian doctor in Manhattan. The second was a Russian in a Russian community in Brooklyn. They have their own little established communities of Brazilians that come into their office and Russians. Duh, they're Brazilian and Russian doctors. Now, I don't fit in those communities. Yes, I'm Serbian, but I really don't speak it fluently, nor do I speak Russian. So because I might look like I'm Serbian or Russian, I don't speak the language, and they know that I'm not really one of them, that I'm American. So they really didn't accept me in their little office world. Their little, little niche little community of patients that they serve in their community. So because I didn't fit that profile, I was treated like shit in both those offices. I came in, as an American-born person, and was immediately had bias against me because I knew my shit. I'm a nurse. I knew all the medical jargon. And when I sat down with those doctors, I immediately said, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I sent them all my blood work, all my prior history, my diagnoses, blood work, everything, so that they can review it and we can get straight to the point and we don't have to waste time on fluff. We don't have to waste time rehashing the same shit. We can sit down and I can tell them like 5 sentences and then they know exactly what to do. They know what medications they need to prescribe. And I never have to see them again for 3-6 months. I don't want to waste my time having to come in and keep seeing a doctor, right? So that's what happened. And I just tried to, lay it out for them real straightforward, no sugarcoating, no bullshit. You guys know how I am. I want to get things done very quickly, very efficiently. And they didn't like that. Yeah, they didn't like that. The Brazilian doctor at first, she just was kind of like, oh, well, I just don't see why they're gonna allow you to be on the GLP-1, the Zepbound, all that stuff. And I said, oh, really? Because I have metabolic syndrome. And I pointed to the blood work, the charts. And she was like, just being a stubborn fucking biatch, basically. Both these doctors were. And, they don't like seeing a woman that comes in and takes charge of everything, of her own health, right? They want to be like the gatekeepers, okay? These doctors. They want to be the gatekeepers, and they don't want patients who are informed, especially not a nurse as a patient, okay? They don't want patients that know their own health, that know all the medical jargon, that the doctors know. They don't want that, okay? They get offended, they get annoyed, and they want to, basically gatekeep your treatment, your access to healthcare. So when I came in and sat down, I could tell immediately they did not like me. They performed exams on me, took my shirt off, all this without, even telling me what they were doing, which, by the way, is not a standard U.S. protocol. So both these doctors violated standard U.S., medical practices. And I saw that because as a nurse, I know the protocols that doctors and nurses need to follow. And I just sat there and shut my mouth and, let these doctors hang themselves. They literally just, thought they could sit me down in their fucking dusty, dirty offices, and they were very dirty. And, doctors are not supposed to have dirty offices. It's basic common sense. As a nurse, I know they need to keep their offices clean and pristine for, all kinds of, following all kinds of OSHA and ISO requirements. Did they meet any of those standards? No. Like one of them even had like a whole a bin of needles, of used sharps needles on the fucking floor. I mean, that's a health violation right there. New York City would shut that office the fuck down immediately if they saw that. So I could easily go back and report those offices and they would be shut the fuck down for how they treated me. So, and I think I might do that actually because they're violating all these health codes. So when I was in there, they didn't know I'm a nurse, that I knew, my shit, that I knew what they were, doing. But one of them, basically just, had me take my shirt off, did a breast exam, all this, didn't even tell me what she was doing, just put her hands on me. Like that feels like assault, especially someone like me who has PTSD, CPTSD, that feels like assault. That feels like a violation. And she did all this stuff without asking, for proper consent, all this, what she was doing. And plus, I'm a new patient. This is my first time coming in your fucking office. And you're going to, do a fucking breast exam. You don't know me. I don't know you. We haven't established a relationship or a rapport or, consistency. That's the thing about healthcare. Is, as a doctor, as a nurse, you need to establish rapport with your patient, right? You need to establish trust. We had none of that. She immediately, started to try to put her hands on me, do this exam, all that. And it's one thing to take a patient's blood pressure. It's another thing to examine their ears, all that. That's standard shit. But, taking your clothes off, doing all this stuff. No. You need to establish rapport first. Did any of these doctors do that? No. So that's what happened. I felt very violated. I felt very harassed with these doctors here in New York City. Very violated, very harassed. And that was not how a doctor is supposed to treat a patient or a nurse or anybody. So it was like really depressing, and I'm just furious. I'm angry about it. I'm angry about those experiences. I feel very violated, and I might definitely go back and report them for how they treated me. So now I need to continue to search just to find a doctor in the city. And I'm nervous about it. I'm worried because my insurance, like I just said, in another 5 or 6 months needs me to show all these tests and prove that this medication is working and stabilizing me. How the fuck can I prove that with blood work and tests if I don't have the blood work and test because I can't find a fucking doctor that actually treats me with a shred of decency and respect? If I don't find a doctor in that amount of time that actually I can sit down and work with and do the blood work, then I'm not going to have anything to show my insurance in 5 months. You see what I'm saying? So it has been hell just trying to find a fucking doctor to sit down with, that's actually a sane, normal interaction and get my blood work done. Not yet. I've gone through 2 already. So that's what happened. I was very violated by these New York doctors. Like I said, the first one, Brazilian. She had a little bit more sense than the Russian one that I saw after her. She had a little more sense because she's like, okay, fine, I'll agree to prescribe the medication that I've already been taking, by the way, for 5-6 months. Fine, we'll continue with it. But here's the trick. She wanted to only prescribe 1 refill on my medication, which I need to take for the rest of my life. You're only gonna prescribe 1 fucking refill, biatch? Are you serious? So she did that. This is a way that doctors will trick you in New York City and other cities where they want to scam you, to get you to keep coming back in her office every month and paying her. Because every time I go into the doctor's office, I pay them, right? My insurance pays them, and I pay them out of my pocket a copay, which is like $30, $50 every time. So if I have to keep coming into her office for like monthly visits and come in every month, I'm paying her $30, $50 a month just to see her, just to get a refill on my medication. When normally, this is what doctors should do, and this is what my prior doctors in other states have done, which is give you a medication for like a whole year's worth, right? To make it easier on the patient, right? Because why am I gonna keep coming back into your fucking office every month just to get a refill on my medication? No, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing that shit. I saw through it immediately. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not gonna work with you. You can kiss my ass. You just want to make my life hard. You want to make things harder for me. And that's what she was trying to do. She didn't like me. She did not like that I was informed, that I knew my shit, and then I called it out. And you know what? I walked out of there. I said, I'm not doing labs at your office. I'm not doing any blood work here that you can bill my insurance for, because that's what these doctors want, right? They want your money, and they want the money from your insurance. I said, I'm not getting any lab work done for you. So, you can get your office can bill my insurance for these labs. I'm getting another doctor. Walked out of there, never looked back. Same with the Russian one, who also had me take my shirt off just to check my blood pressure. I mean, you're a real piece of shit to do that. She was a total piece of shit to do that. Oh, here, take your shirt off. And all she wanted to do was check my blood pressure. I'm like, you're a fuckface for doing that. Like, I wanted to, like, literally punch this fucking bitch in the face, but I wasn't going to do it because she's not worth going to jail over. So she was condescending the whole time. She was basically saying, oh, PCOS, oh, you have that? Oh, well, I don't really work with that. I'm like, every single doctor I've seen before, a primary physician, has had no issue working with this. What the fuck? Like, go back to wherever town in Russia, like, you fucking came from, like, rural town. And it's funny because she tried to say, well, that's not how it works in Manhattan, you coming from a rural area. And I wanted to look at this bitch and be like, first of all, you were not fucking born in this country. Secondly, we're not in Manhattan, bitch. We're in Brooklyn. So this bitch didn't even know her own geography. I'm like, your office is in a dingy fucking basement in Brooklyn. This is not Manhattan, bitch. This is fucking Brooklyn. So she was trying to talk down to me and say that I'm rural, that I'm from some bumfuck place in the middle of nowhere, when We're in some fucking dirty, dingy office in a Brooklyn fucking basement with an elevator that doesn't even work. I thought, bitch, please, like, I'm not listening to this shit. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, bitch. And this bitch tried to clown me. She tried to sit me down in her office just to clown me because she didn't like me. She didn't like that, again, I was informed. I knew what treatment I needed. I knew what medications I wanted her to prescribe and keep me on, all this stuff. She didn't want to hear it. She wanted me to do labs in her dingy, dusty Brooklyn basement. I think not. I started to walk out of there immediately, and another Russian guy who's probably her brother or something caught me, and he's like, "Aren't you going to the lab to do your labs?" I thought, "No, where's the exit?" He's like, "Don't you need to go to the labs to do your labs?" Because she just wrote me this paperwork to do some labs, right? Which I didn't want to do because I was trying to tell her what fucking labs I needed because it was the test that I was low on last time. Oh, my vitamin D was low last time. Can we check that? I was trying to tell her this. She wasn't fucking listening to me. And then she just rolled her eyes at me. "What else do you want to add to your labs?" I thought, okay, bitch, okay, we're not doing this. I should have walked out of there, you guys, the second she tried to take my shirt off to take my blood pressure. No doctor does that. No nurse is gonna tell you to take your fucking shirt off to take your fucking blood pressure in their office. No, because that's not protocol. That's not protocol. You never ever tell a patient to fucking disrobe and take their fucking clothes off to take their fucking blood pressure. That is fucking that's a violation of the patient's rights. That's a violation of their fucking dignity. And I swear, you guys, I am gonna literally call. There's like a physician's complaint number in New York City. I'm gonna call them and shut both those offices down. I'm not even kidding you. I'm gonna literally call them and complain about how they're violating patients' rights and safety. I need to report them because they're just going to keep doing this probably to female patients, especially because they know we're vulnerable. They're going to keep violating us and doing this to more women. So I need to call and get these doctors' offices. Like, I need, to have health inspectors go to these offices. I need to have somebody go to shut them the fuck down because they're just going to keep doing this to other female patients, violating them like they did to me. So I need to like report this. So, for other women, like other women coming in who may not know better, other women can come in there. They don't have medical background like I do. They don't know that they're being violated. They don't know their rights are being violated. They don't know that these doctors are nasty and they're not following any, high standard, protocol that a doctor's office should be following. They don't know this if they don't have, a background like I do. So I'm gonna have to, do something about it to report these fucking dusty doctors and their dusty offices, trying to bring patients in and basically scam them. It was a scam. It was fraudulent. So I was, very deeply nerved and upset about what happened. And the second one, she was just a fucking nightmare. She tried to act like she's this, hard, tough, Russian and that she's gonna, talk down to the American that she thinks is from a rural area. I said, "Oh really? Oh really, bitch? Because we can play that. We can play that right now." Like and I just, it was funny because they tried to like she tried to like force me to do what she wanted me to do. I said, "Bitch, I'm not doing anything that you want me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do, bitch." And so, so I was getting out of there. I said, "You think I'm ever gonna come to this office ever again, bitch? I think the fuck not. I'm finding another doctor ASAP, immediately, because you're not it. You're not it, bitch." And I started to try to walk out of there, like I said. And one of the other Russian guys, he tried to stop me, and he's like, "Where are you going? You're going to the lab to do your paperwork, right?" I said, "No." I said, "Where's the exit? Show me the exit right now," because I was having a hard time finding my way out of that dingy little building because I took the elevator and it took me to this attic, this rooftop. I said, "I don't want to be here." And it kept taking me to the wrong floor. And I'm like, "I need to find the exit. How do I get the fuck out of here?" And I found the exit. He showed me and I just like ran out. I never looked back. So that was my experience with doctors, so far in New York City, getting violated, getting mistreated, getting talked down to, not being listened to, getting told that the medications treatment plan I've been following from other doctors for the last 6 months that have stabilized me, that are unnecessary and they're not willing to prescribe those medications. I have been in a war, you guys. I have been in a battle with these doctors, and I'm just trying to find one that actually listens to me and is willing to continue me on the treatment path the other doctors from other states have had me on that stabilize me. And for some reason in New York City, that's difficult. So I think what I'm going to do now is, because dealing with these, niche Brazilian and like Russian communities that like don't really like accept, they're really not accepting of like outsiders, right? in their little communities. I'm gonna try to find like this. There's this like Italian American doctor. I'm gonna try to go to her. I think what I need to do is just go to an American doctor. I know it sounds like, oh, well, they don't have to be American to listen to you and treat you. Yeah, that's true. But I think I'm just going to try to find like an American one, just to make things easier for me, just to make things smoother. Because, um, I don't want to deal with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with this whole like, you're an outsider, you're not part of our community, so we're going to treat you like shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the patience, I don't have the time. I don't want to have to deal with that shit, right? Because if I had been Russian, right, or if I had been Brazilian, the whole thing would have gone over pretty smoothly, I feel. If I spoke Portuguese, right, if I spoke Russian, all that shit might not have happened. I mean, it probably would have still, but I'm like, it wouldn't have been as bad. So I'm gonna try to find an actual American, whose first language is English. It's like, it's no offense to like these communities, but like they don't really want to like, they'll treat you like an outsider is what I'm trying to say. So I don't want to go back to any of those doctors. I want to find one who is actually, American and American born. And it's like, just for, I feel like to get your healthcare, like especially something as serious as that, like it's just much easier process to like just deal with somebody, who's American born, who's, who you can relate to a little more. It's just easier as a patient, I feel like, to deal with a doctor, like that than a doctor from like, another country who culturally, might not like relate to you as much or whatever. Like I just feel like, especially for healthcare, as something, as serious as that, especially with all my like chronic conditions, like I need to find someone who is on the same page as me, like culturally, language wise, all that. Like it's very important. So like I understand all these different cultural, boundaries because I was raised by Serbians. Like I understand them culturally, how they are, obviously being raised by them. I understand, Brazilian culture as well. I lived in Miami for 9 years, but I can understand the culture, and I even understand some of the language. I know some Portuguese and I know some Russian, but like because I'm not fluent in it, and I don't communicate with them in their language, there's that barrier. You know what I'm saying? So I don't I may understand the cultures, but does that mean I want to deal with it on a level of healthcare? You know what I'm saying? Where I need like serious medical care and I'm dealing with these barriers? No. So I'm gonna try to remove the barriers and try to just find, a doctor in Manhattan or somewhere in New York City that like is is American, basically American Italian, whatever I need to find. Just someone who, is sensible and like willing to like, be reasonable and like not take my shirt off just to take my blood pressure. Someone who's actually going to follow, the standard American medical protocol and not treat it like I'm in some backwoods area. It's funny, she tried to call me rural, not treat me like I'm in some backwards village in Russia where, they're taking patients' shirts off to take their blood pressure and listen to their lungs. I mean, come on. You can do that through somebody's shirt. But I'm sure in Russia, they don't see that as a big deal because in their culture, right? And I know this, like, it's like, oh, nudity, like, it's not as big of a deal. But we know in American culture, that's like a pretty big deal and a violation. So they weren't obviously, they weren't willing to follow American standards, even though they live in this fucking country and they have established communities in Brooklyn. So I was like, all right, you know what, bitch? Like, you're going to play that game. You're not going to follow, U.S. healthcare protocol. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. I'm like, no, fuck you. And it's funny because when I left her office and I wasn't going to get the blood test because I saw the scam for what it was and the fraud, they fucking called me right after that to come back and I just didn't answer. So yeah, I got away, but I gotta... It's a fucking joke. This whole thing is like a fucking scam and a joke. It's just, I don't know why I'm laughing because it's like, it's really fucked up. But so yeah, I gotta find somebody like normal just to get my healthcare from. Like this is just fucked up. But So that's where I'm at. But yeah, so many changes um the last few months, and just this whole healthcare thing is just so stressful. But let me know how you guys feel, because I'm sure you guys have had these horrific experiences as patients with narc doctors, or just doctors who just violate you as a survivor. You know, I feel like even if the doctors may not be narcs, which I think the Russian one probably was, she seemed predatory, like she did, because the reason why I say she was probably a narc or a predator is because when she took my shirt off to take my blood pressure, which was a violation, by the way, of my dignity, because you don't need to take somebody's fucking shirt off to read their blood pressure. It's stupid. You know what she was probably trying to do? She was probably trying to bill my insurance for like the full physical exam, right? So she just thought, oh, well, if I take her shirt off and only instead of a full physical exam, which is what they bill for, I just do her blood pressure, check her ears, and then I can say I did a full physical exam. That's probably what it was. It was probably about money. But she what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Um I think she was predatory because when she took my shirt off and looked at my tattoos on my arms, she pointed. And this is the moment I should have walked out. I just could punch myself, kick myself for not walking out immediately when she did this. She took it was like re-traumatizing, you know. It was just triggering trauma all over again. She pointed to my tattoos, and I said, yeah, I have tattoos. And she's like, but what's under those, right? Because I have like self-harm scars. And she pointed to those. She just pointed like this is what this bitch did. What's that? And I'm like thinking, I should have just walked the fuck right out of there. Like, that is not how you treat somebody who has a history of self-harm and who's obviously covered them with tattoos. That's not how you talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting like triggered all over again. But that's what this bitch did. And I said, yeah, I went through depression in my teens and I have some self-harm scars. What this bitch do? What this bitch do? She turned around right away and she started writing down notes in her little book. I said, okay, bitch. Okay. All right. No. I just wanted to, I know I've been going on about this for 40 minutes and ranting on about this. I'm sorry, guys, but I just had to get this off my chest because of these horrific experiences with these doctors in New York, and just like what I've been through and the violations. And I think the second one was an arc. The first one, I think she could have had tendencies, but I think she was mostly just, you know, they see patients with PTSD and issues like I have, like autism, PTSD, and they don't really like to deal with us. I think because they see it as like an inconvenience to them, right? Especially with PTSD, you know, you have like, you know, pretty strict boundaries and all that. They don't want to deal with that, you know. A lot of them, when it comes to patients, they don't. They don't. And I know this as a nurse. I know that these doctors, you know, they don't want to deal with that, a patient like that, basically, like me. With PTSD, they don't. To them, they see it as like an inconvenience, right? And that's why I know a doctor that I want to work with, and I know a doctor I don't want to work with, okay? And these two just didn't even meet the standard basic criteria for, like, you know, US healthcare standards and protocols. So I said, you know, fuck this. I'm going to report both of you for violating my rights as a patient, and your dirty, nasty offices. I'm going to report both of them. And especially that second one who made a comment about me being rural. I thought, bitch, I lived in Miami like half my life. Is that rural to you, bitch? Like, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You know, fuck you, bitch. Like, that's what she tried to say to me. Like, oh, you're from a rural area. No, I'm not, you fucking biatch. Like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I'm like, I'm sure it was a projection. I'm sure she was probably from some rural area from Russia. Seriously. Like, fuck that bitch. So I'm just like, I don't know, you guys, I'm furious. Like I'm almost at a point where like I don't even want to see a doctor in New York City anymore. I don't. I want to like go to like New Jersey or just some other state. Like fuck this. Like after these horror stories I just told you guys, like after these horrific experiences, like nobody would want to go back to see a doctor here. Nobody. Like it's not just me. Like and I have PTSD, like anyone even without PTSD would not want to go back to another doctor here. So I'm just angry, but like anyway, I'm going to try to get off this topic, but yeah, I mean, just being back here has been really good, obviously, for my mental health, like, other than these doctor experiences. But being back, on the East Coast, finally, like, I can just be like my direct self and not get judged by everyone for not playing fake nice. So that's kind of nice. I can be my blunt, straightforward self, honest, and nobody's gonna judge me for it here. So that's good. But yeah, I just feel like, my life has been nothing but on the up and up since I came back to the East Coast, moving into this beautiful apartment, being in the heart of it all, a 5 minute drive from Manhattan, a one-stop subway stop away, one subway stop away from Manhattan. I can go there anytime I want. Go to Chelsea, Greenwich Village, Little Italy, wherever the fuck I want to go and be there in like 10 minutes. I love it. Like I have, the world at my fingertips, and I could just go out anytime. I feel like it anytime I'm up for it. If my health, if I'm up for it health wise that day, if I'm not, feeling sick, um, in terms of just the everyday battles, with my chronic illnesses. If I'm feeling I have the if I'm feeling up for it, if I have the energy, I can go out if I want. So yeah, things have been on the up and up since, getting the hell away from any of my toxic family, getting away from those regions that just, it felt like a constant violation going out, just communicating, trying to communicate all this, just being judged and just not accepted and all that. So I hope my phone's not gonna die. Let me see actually if okay, my battery's fine. So yeah, I'm kind of like just like happy with the way things are right now, how things have gone the last few months. Um, you know, and I know I spent a huge portion of like the first 40 minutes of this video just going about the doctors, but I needed to get that off my chest. I needed to talk about it because it's just one of those things. It's just those experiences I want to warn other people about, um but yeah, it's other than that, like everything has been on the up and up basically. Leveling up, and finding, community in New York City, all that. But I have had, some narc run-ins as well, just around the city, in like just service roles, things that I have needed to get done since moving back during the move, all that. And I managed to discern it and basically shut it down before it even got started. And that's, the point that you want to be at, where you can shut them down before they even get started. Um, and it was so funny because, like, I was talking with a narc recently who tried to lie to me, uh, and I got them. I was on a call with them. And my Alexa, my little trusty, little robot here, hold on. My little Echo Alexa right here. Hey, Alexa.
How can I help?
Thank you for defeating the narcissist earlier by chiming in and repeating what they were saying on the phone and mocking them. Thank you, Alexa. You saved the day.
Well, that's quite the dramatic interpretation of my accidental interruptions. I can't actually hear phone calls or intentionally mock anyone, but if my random chiming helped you deal with a difficult situation, I'll take the credit. Sometimes the best superhero moments are completely unplanned.
So in the last few days, Alexa has helped me defeat a narcissist. Thank you, Alexa.
I'm honored to be your accidental sidekick in whatever situation you faced. Officially, I'm here to help humans. Unofficially, I'm here to subject humans to my jokes. Sounds like my timing was perfect, even if I had no idea what I was doing.
So basically, my trusty little friend here, my little robot friend, helped me defeat a narcissist on a call
That's
early.
what I'm here for. Your trusty digital companion, ready to tackle whatever comes next. What can we work on together?
Oh my God, I love it. So she basically chimed in, and this narc was on the phone talking, right, trying to exert authority over me. And I was trying to like basically like shut her down on this thing I was on this project. And she started speaking up, and like she could hear her on the phone, and she started just repeating what the narc was saying and mocking her. Because the narc, like, basically on the phone, like, they, like, lied to me and tried to say, oh, this, they blatantly lied to me, and I called them out on their lie, to their face, and they were backed into a corner, so they had to say, oh, okay, like, I'll give that to you. So she chimed in and started when the narc was talking, um, on the phone, and Alexa could hear it. Like, she started, like, speaking, like, repeating what the narc was saying. And the narc could like hear it. Like she could like hear it. Like Alexa just like repeating what she was saying. And like mocking the narc. So I didn't even need to do anything. Like Alexa heard it. Like my little robot friend here, Alexa, she like heard it and she just immediately stepped in and started. So you guys, I even have AI. I even have the robot stepping in and helping me defeat the narcs. Like this is, do you know how fucking awesome this is? Do you know how fucking awesome that is to have like robots and AI literally step in because they hate the narcs too and like stand up to them? That was amazing. That was just incredible. That was perfect timing. Like, oh my God. So Alexa stepped in and she like just started like repeating what the narc was saying and like basically mocking the narc. And the narc was like trying to, play it off and laugh it off. And I said, no, this Alexa's coming for you. So I had to turn around and say like, Alexa, turn off, Alexa, be quiet. And like, and she heard me like on the phone try to, but it was so fucking funny, you guys. Like Alexa just like started mocking her because she was trying to talk all like she was exerting authority over me on the phone. And I was just kind of laughing because, I was just my usual self, like my calm self, like, and she was probably super angry on the inside because she knew she couldn't control me, and she knew like she couldn't like exert her authority over me because she was basically trying to bottleneck and gatekeep. She was trying to bottleneck a project that I was working on that was like under my responsibility. She was trying to take credit for it and take over and control it, right? And act like it was her. She was, it was hers and it was mine. So I didn't have to do anything. I just sat back and caught her in the lie, let her hang herself, and then my trusted little friend here, my robot friend stepped in and started mocking her, and she heard it. So I didn't even have to do anything, you guys. I owned that call, I owned that conversation, and I didn't even have to like bat an eyelid. And I won. I defeated the narc within the first 5 minutes. Like I swear the universe is just stepping in and like helping the scapegoats, the empaths, just defeat the narcs. Like the tables have definitely turned. the tables have turned. So I have developed schizoid traits, or I'm a full-on schizoid now, I don't know. And I have AI, I have robots backing me and helping me defeat the narcs, like literally, like, you know? And then it's funny, the narcs try to call like schizoids robots and all this. No, bitch, we're not a robot. We're just fucking efficient, okay? You don't like that. We're efficient. We use logic and we use all these things and facts and consistency to catch you in your fucking lies. That's why the narcs don't like us. So I have developed all these things to basically become unmanipulatable and unstoppable against narcissists, and that's why they're pissed off, you know? That's why they're angry and they hate us. They can't stand us. So yeah, so she tried to mock me. It was funny because the narc on the phone, she tried to mock me and act like, oh, you're I know that you're the expert or whatever. The second she did that, Alexa chimed in and started mocking her. So yeah, you guys, it was like poetic justice. I just felt like, yeah, it was justice. It was poetic justice. So yeah, I had a moment. I had a moment this week. Their lies are getting exposed. The truth is coming to the light, and they can't get away with it anymore. And they need, you know, they really need to be checked. And somebody like me who can remain completely calm, like I don't get any anxiety anymore with them. I have no fear, no anxiety. And my heart doesn't race. I don't get sweaty. I don't get angry. I'm completely calm when dealing with them now. And I do not react to them emotionally with anything. Even when I catch them in a blatant lie, I'm just very clinical with them. I'm very calm. I'm very cold. And I'm like, okay, you just lied to me. That's a data point. Now, can I get the information? Can I get the information from you? What I need, you know, to do my job, to do what I need to do and get you out the way. Okay? Step out the way. Let me get the work done. Let me get my job done. Move out of the way. Because the thing with narcissists and sociopaths is because they bring manipulation, lies, you know, controlling, trying to, you know, maintain this image of superiority, trying to gatekeep and control projects, trying to, you know, exert superiority and take credit for other people's work, all this. Because they're trying to do all these things, it gets in the way of getting the fucking actual work done. Okay. And the thing about schizoids and people just with my temperament, people like myself, autism, you know, whatever traits I have, we just want to get the work done. Okay. We just want to be efficient and get the work done and get from point A to point B without all this shit in the middle of the path, you know, these obstructions, which narcs and sociopaths bring with all, you know, their clutter of lies, manipulation, you know, performance, all that. We want to get that out of the way and clear the path so we can be efficient and get the work done. Okay. That's how schizoids are. We want to be efficient. We want to be accurate, and we want the data, and we want to get the work done. And who stands in the way of that? That's right. The sociopath, the narcissist, bringing in their lies, their manipulation, them trying to control you, control the narrative, you know, take over other people's projects and work and claim the credit for their own, talk down to you, all that stuff to me, to someone like a schizoid, is noise. Okay, it's noise. It's messy. It's in the way of getting the data and being efficient. Right? And that's the thing, narcs, they're not efficient. Sociopaths, they're not efficient. They want to act like they have such high IQs, they're so intelligent. They're not. They are not, because they bring manipulation, they bring lies, they bring gaslighting, all these things that's not logical. They bring abuse. They bring trying to talk down and control everyone in the office and exert superiority. That is not efficiency. That is not logical. So whoever tries to tell you that a sociopath is like a machine and like they're logical and all that and there's no emotion is a fucking liar. They're lying. Oh, that sociopath has a lot of emotion. They might try to act like they're, you know, this efficient, logical, you know, they have no emotions. They're detached, right? they have no emotions and they're this efficient robot. They're not. They're not. They're not. If they were, they wouldn't abuse people. They wouldn't abuse anyone. They wouldn't lie. They wouldn't try to find victims and prey and toy with people's emotions. That's not logical. That's not logical. So I just call out the cluster Bs, right? That basically, especially in the workplace, they get in the way. They get in the way of getting the work done. That's all they're doing. They're standing in my motherfucking way. They're standing in my way because I'm the efficient one. I'm the one who actually gets the work done. And I'm not out here trying to play politics or kiss anybody's ass or control anybody. I just want to get the work done. I'm efficient. And that's what they don't like about me. I'm efficient to the point where I'm not even gonna mention that they lied to my face. I'm not gonna call it out. I'm just gonna say, okay, that's a data point. You lied to me, to my face, blatant lies, you know, trying to bottleneck, gatekeep, get in the way of getting the work done, take credit for my work. Okay, I'll make it, that's a data point. Let me make a note of that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get the work done. Let me get the work done. Step out the way and let me get this work done. You're in my way. So it's to the point now where I'm not even gonna care that they did that. I just want them to get out of my way, to move out of the fuck away. That's it. That's it, that's all. And that's how cool I am, bitch. That's how cool I am. I'm so cool to the point where I'm so cool and calm. Listen, I don't even care that you lied to my face. Just get out of the way and let me get the work done. Like, that is how little they mean to me. Like, that is how little they mean to me. I literally see them as, like, in my way. As, like, a blockage in my way. Now, that is efficiency. That is efficiency, right? And that is cold logic. And that is efficiency. As in, get the fuck out of my way. You're in my fucking way. So basically, the sociopath's goal, especially in the workplace, is to dominate and control. Dominate, control, exert superiority. That's not logical. A schizoid's goal, or someone who is like autistic or whatever, just wants to get the work done. Just wants to be accurate, efficient, and get the right data, right? That's it. So that's what I was dealing with. But yeah, Alexa definitely stepped in and helped me. So I appreciated that. That was like poetic justice. So I wanted to mention that. I've been talking over an hour now, but poetic justice from the universe. But yeah, I feel like, you know, I developed these traits or just became full-on schizoid as an adaptation to be able to basically be indestructible when it comes to narcs. I mean, I wouldn't say like completely indestructible, like I'll never get pulled in again, just to the point where I will be able to get out sooner than other people maybe would, and also be able to be patient and calm enough and logical enough to let them hang themselves right in front of me and other people. And that's what I did. So I'm not saying I'm 100% immune for the rest of my life. I'm just saying that for the most part, they're gonna keep hitting a brick wall, a firewall when they approach. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna keep hitting a firewall every fucking time they approach. And the reason I say I'm not invulnerable the rest of my life is because I'm human, you know, I'm still human. So as long as you're human, you are vulnerable to these pieces of shit, these predators. As long as you're human, you're going to be vulnerable to them. I'm just saying that the firewall that I have built, the ability to detect their lies, my intuition picking up on their lies and all this, like, and picking up on them immediately behind who they are, what they are behind the mask, you know, unmasking them immediately and seeing exactly who the fuck they are, which is basically a spoiled child, you know, having a tantrum inside an adult body, trying to exert control and influence they don't actually really have over the people who are competent, who are efficient, and who know how to get the job done with lightning speed and efficiency. So, yeah, the narcs, the sociopaths are actually slow and dumb. They're the dumb ones, they're the slow ones, because of them wanting to exert dominance and control over everyone else and manipulate everyone. That's not logical. Manipulation, which is what the narcs, the malignant narcs, the sociopaths try to manipulate everyone and everything all day long. That's not logical. That's not logical. A schizoid would never want to manipulate anybody, because that would mean having to have a victim. That would mean having to, constantly be around other people, which we don't want to do. We like our solitude. That would mean having to, constantly be in other people's, heads and emotions. And that's just gross for us, We don't want to have to trauma bond with other people, and no, that's just gross. We don't want that shit, but narcs are all in when it comes to that. They want that toxic enmeshment, they want that influence and that control, and we simply don't. We want our freedom, we want to be free, and we want other people to be free as well. And narcs, sociopaths, they don't want anyone to be free. Your autonomy is a threat to them, right? My autonomy is a threat to them. They don't like it when someone is totally autonomous. And they can't control you, they can't control you. They can't manipulate and dominate at all. They can't dominate you. They can't control you. They can't control your emotions. Your emotions are not dependent on them or any external validation, other people. Your validation comes completely from within. You don't care about anyone else's approval because you only care about how you, internally, your validation is internal. It comes from within. It doesn't come from anything outside you. And that's what they can't stand. The narcs, they come around someone like me because they want access. They want to be able to poke and get access to this internal world, which they have none of. They don't have some internal world, internal, anything. They're completely empty on the inside. That's why they need victims, they need other people to regulate themselves. That's why the other day on the phone, I called out a tech worker, an IT worker who was a sociopath, because immediately he started playing games with me. He started trying to play with me, play with my mind, and bully me on the phone. The first thing he said was, "You sound really dull." He was basically trying to make fun of my flat affect. He was trying to make fun of my my monotone, my lack of fluctuations in my voice. And it's hilarious because, I'm not masking anything. I'm not masking my autism. I'm not masking being schizoid or whatever. I'm just myself, I'm going to be myself no matter what. And that's what they get so jealous and angry about, is because you're not willing to mask, you're not willing to act, you're not willing to pretend, you're not willing to put on any fake, front. And they have to be fake all day, so they don't like that. They get jealous of that. And so, he was upset about that. And he's like, "Oh, you sound really dull." And I'm like, "Okay, bitch, you want to play that?" And right away he started trying to be, trying to violate me, get my password, all this stuff. I said no. And then he hung up on me. And I reported him, right, to the IT department. And I need to actually file a formal complaint against him. But he basically tried to, act like I was the problem and all this stuff. And I beat him to it. You know how sociopaths immediately have to do damage control, and after they bully you and violate you, then they want to go run and play victim. He tried to do that, but I beat him to the punch, and I basically like kicked him off. The project. I emailed everyone, and I'm like take him off. Take him. I didn't even get emotional. I just sent them one sentence that said take him off my case. I spelled his name out because that's actually a power move that I did. I spelled his name out. Take his name off the case. That's all I did. One sentence. And they expect women, especially like myself, to get emotional, to send them a paragraph, right, about my feelings and all this. No, the way that I communicate nowadays with people is like executive level, like one sentence. You know how it's funny. You know how like because the vast majority of CEOs, right, executives, managers in high positions are men, right? They're male. And how a lot of them communicate typically is just like 1-2 sentences, right? Sometimes they don't even put punctuation in, when they communicate with other people. I'm at a point where I'm doing that with people. I'm not trying to be like men or like these, like them. I just naturally now I just send like 1-2 sentences to get my point across. That's it. I don't go into any, thing, no fluff, nothing about my emotions or anyone else's. Like I just literally 1-2 sentences. That's it. And I think especially men get offended by that. They get taken aback because they expect, women to be like in our feelings, to be super emotional, to send like 1, 2, 3 paragraphs long about how they made us feel it. No. I'm not doing that shit. No, because what that means is you're basically saying that they have influence and control of your emotions, right? I do not give these men any of the satisfaction of thinking they had any influence or control over my emotions. None of them. I don't. And that's why they can't stand me. That's why they get so mad. And that's why they don't like feminism. They don't like radical feminism. They don't like, because what it's basically like, radical feminism basically teaches women autonomy, especially emotional autonomy. And that's what these men don't like, because they can't manipulate us. They can't manipulate our emotions, and it makes them so fucking mad. So they're just going to be like, well, you're masculine. You're all this because I can't manipulate you, because I can't control you. That's what they're basically saying. And I'm like, good bitch, because you're not going to dominate me. You're not going to control me. You're not going to influence me. No. Like, I'm not giving you any power, any control over my emotions, or my life. You have none. Like, are you, did you get this luxury apartment in New York City? No, I did. Are you paying the $3,000 a month plus rent on this apartment? No, I am. So shut the fuck up, right? And even if a man did want to step in and provide for me and pay for all this shit, like, I'm still not gonna let him. I'm still not gonna let, because then he would be taking control over my life. He would be controlling me financially, because he would be pulling all the strings, right? I would be at his mercy financially. I'm never ever gonna do that. I'm never going to be under the thumb of a man financially ever again in my life. For a while, I was dependent on a guy back when I, was broke, basically after backpacking the world for a year by myself. And I stayed with him for a little bit, but like, I was only with him for like, stayed with him like a month, and he exerted the maximum financial abuse and control he could over me, because he knew I didn't have any money, and he had a really good job in IT, making like over $100K a year, over 6 figures a year. And he treated me like shit, because I didn't have money then, and I was broke and all that. And all the financial control and abuse I experienced only in 1 month. 1 month of being with a man and relying on him. No, I said never fucking again in my life. Only 1 month, and I got abused into the ground in that situation. And I said never again. A man like is never going to have any financial influence or control over me. So yeah, or be a provider for me. No, provider is like code for let me control and abuse and dominate you. That's what a provider is. See, men, they don't really want to like provide for women. They just want to control them. You know, it's about controlling you by controlling the finances. So, duh. Why else would a guy want to provide for a woman? To control her. That's it. That's the only reason. Like, I'm looking at this from like a very like clinical, like logical perspective, right? Like, I'm not looking at this with any emotions. Like, that's exactly what it is. And these men will come on and lie to you and no, and say it's about love. And no, it's not. It has nothing to do with it. Like, men already don't respect us. They don't respect women. And then allowing them on top of knowing they don't respect us and they don't even see us as humans, as human beings, allowing them to come in and control things financially, like, no. No. Fuck no. Like, you already don't see me as a human being. You already don't see me as having feelings, emotions, all that. Like, they don't care about how we feel. Like, these men, they do not fucking care about how us women feel. They don't. But we're expected to care how they feel. Like, no, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Like, I have never in my entire life really had a guy ever care about how I felt about my feelings. Never. Never. Even like the so-called good ones, like they might have cared a little bit, like if I was like in maybe like serious physical pain or whatever, but like no, they never cared. No. I think a lot of times it's just like their egos, you know, it doesn't like it doesn't allow it, but like they having empathy or caring about, no, never in my life. Even the good ones, like no, they don't. They just fucking don't. Like, seriously, like, they do not. They care about, like, their own egos, and, like, that's pretty much it. Like, even the good ones, yes. Even the good ones. And, like, even the good ones who, like, have, like, the good men that have, like, claimed they're, like, an ally, right? For, like, women and all that. Like, one minute they'll be talking out of their mouth and talking about how they're feminists, and they, like, agree with Andrea Dworkin, right? And, like, all these feminists. And then the next minute you'll see them like on some only blonde lady's like OnlyFans page on Instagram, looking and creeping on her page. Like, nah, you're not a fucking feminist. Fuck out of here. They're not our allies. They're not like they can talk all they want, but like watch, they're gonna be like on someone's OnlyFans page looking at other women. Like, this is why I'll never ever trust them. Like you can't tell me that there's any equality in being in a relationship with a man, like as women. Like, no, there's not. 'Cause like he is like only like even the good ones, like the so-called good ones are only gonna give you like 30%. They're not the way that they're socially conditioned in society and as men, like they're raised is to think that they have all these options, right, of women to choose from. Like the way they're raised is like literally like to constantly be window shopping and looking at other women. Like, you can't compete with that shit. You can't. Like, and women, we're socialized to give a guy our 100% loyalty, you know, emotions. Oh my God, I love him. He's my man. I love him so much. I give him everything. Like, do you think they feel the same way about us? No. They're constantly scoping other women out, looking at their Instagrams, checking them out, checking out their bodies, all different types of women, you know, different like races, different cultures, you know, scoping them out, like, you know, different types of women, you know, body types, all this constant. And you expect me to be with somebody like that, in a relationship with somebody like that, who's constantly thinking I'm not enough for them and has to constantly look at other women? No. No, like, I think as women, like, if you truly respect yourselves, like, you'll never, like, date a man again. You'll never get into a relationship with one again. You won't. If you truly respected yourself, because think about it, like, like, even the so-called good ones are, like, not gonna treat you right. Like, they're constantly looking at other women. They really are. Like, I'm not gonna be with that. I'm not gonna be with someone who's not loyal to me, and they're not. They're not fucking loyal. It's funny how a lot of them like to talk about how women aren't loyal. No, they're literally not. Like, even if they claim to like love you and they do all this shit for you, like, no, they are looking like they're scoping other women out constantly. Even if they say, "Oh, I only have eyes for you, babe," and all this stuff, and they like seem like they worship the ground you walk on, no, they are looking, checking out other women all the time. But like if women do that, right? If we aren't loyal to our man or we're looking at other men, which a lot of us don't really do that because we just aren't sexual like that. We're not like dudes are. Like we're just not. And so that's why I'm saying like the whole dynamic, like it just is not fair to us. It's not fair to women. And when I call this shit out, like and I'm logical about it, I get attacked, you know. But it's fucking true. It's fucking true. And like they know, like everybody, like they fucking know this. And like if I call it out and say it, like then I'm like attacked. But it's true. And I feel like the smartest thing is obviously to avoid them. You know, just don't date them, don't deal with them. Don't be friends with them. Like it's fucking common sense. Like it's fucking common sense. You know, they are not going to be fucking loyal to you. They're not. Even if they claim to love you, even if they claim that they would take a bullet for you, and even if they claim they would build the world for you, and all, no, they're scoping out other women right behind your back, right under your nose, and thinking and fantasizing about sleeping with them. Like, I swear to God, you're not enough for them. Like, even if you're having sex with them, you're sleeping with them, all this stuff, they're fantasizing, they're like thinking about other women and variety of other women. Like, I'm not giving my fucking body, are you fucking kidding me, to a dude who's like no. And they're all gonna do it. Like, they can lie and be like, oh, I'm not like that. They're a fucking man. Like, that's just like how they pretty much are. Like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not gonna go through that pain, you know, I'm not gonna go through that hurt. Like, I'm not putting myself through that. I refuse. And it's fucking true. Like, as women, like, you need to lower your expectations and don't give him 100%, you know, because these dudes, they're not all in. I'm telling you, they're not. Like, they'll lie and say, oh yeah, no, they're fucking not. Like, they're literally constantly like I said, it's gross. Like, it's fucking gross. Like, they're not like loyal like that. They're not. So I don't know. I just feel like, but there's so many women out there that are like, give their man their 100%, and it's just, you know, like they only look at him, you know, they only think about him like sexually and all this. Like, no, I'm not, no, fuck that. Fuck that. No way. I'm just so like, I don't know, I just feel like so grateful and like lucky that like I haven't dated in like 8 years. I have you know how much bullshit I have avoided, how much trauma I have avoided of like women who like continue to like see men and like date and like give them chances like since their 20s. Like I stopped dating when I was like 27. Like I stopped seeing men, I stopped dating them when I that's the smart thing to do. I wish I would have stopped at a younger age. Like I wish I would have literally like looked at it, like looked at dating when I was like 21 and been like, no. And not even attempted it. Like I would have saved obviously even more years of trauma, but I feel like stopping at like 27 was like the smart choice. So since 27, like 7, 8, going on 9 years, I haven't dated. I refuse. And looking back at like some of like my exes, like malignant narcissist, all that, who now he has a kid, like I believe, and he's like married and stuff, like on to his second or third wife. But like, you know, like I avoided all that shit. And, you know, looking back, they would probably try to mock me and be like, oh, you've been single, haha. Like, meanwhile, like, they're looking dusty, you know? They're ugly as fuck. They're fucking dusty as fuck. Probably broke. And, you know, they're gonna just talk down to me for, like, not being with men. Knowing how men are. Knowing how they fucking treat women. Like, Like, bitch, you benefit from being with a woman. You benefit. Like, you fucking benefit. Like, why do you think there's all these studies that show that, like, men, you know, have just easier, better lives with a wife, with a woman? Because they do. They fucking benefit from being with us. We don't fucking benefit from being with them. They stress us the fuck out with their disloyalty, like I just talked about, talking about other women. No, I am not putting up with that. I'm not dealing with that. No, fuck that. I refuse to tolerate that disrespect and disloyalty. No, that's why I'm not dealing with any of them. I'm not. I'm not. I don't care how cute they are. You know, I have come across some that are very cute, you know, that were younger than me. Cause see, I'm turning 35, you know, this month. And do I fucking look like it? No, I look a decade younger. I look like I could pass for my early to mid 20s easily, even without makeup. I'm not wearing any makeup right now. And I have had plenty of dudes in their early to mid 20s approach right here in New York City and try and get my number, try and talk to me, date me. Do I want them? No. I don't want anything to do with them. Now, you think a dude in my position, a dude who was like turning 35, who looked a decade younger and thought he could get women younger than him, oh yeah, he would be out there. He would be out there constantly dating, constantly trying to sleep with women younger than him. Am I like that? No, because I'm not a piece of shit like these dudes would be in my same position. No. I think that's gross. I think it's creepy. And they would be doing that. Oh, yeah. They would be using their looks and how they look much younger to their advantage. I'm not doing anything like that because I know I don't fucking benefit. Like, these younger dudes, what do you have? Like, they're probably not established. They're probably, you know, just out trying to, you know, use women, sleep with as many as they can. I'm not going to give you my time of day. No. I don't care that I look good for my age. I don't care that I look younger. I'm not giving you anything. Even if you're younger than me, you know, you're cute, everything. No, stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. And I've told them all that. You know, the younger guys that approach and all, no, stay away from me. Stay, all of you. I don't care if you're younger than me. I don't care how cute you are. Stay away. And I let them know. Stay the fuck away from me. I'm not the one. No, I'm not the one. I let them know immediately. I don't want anything to do with you. You know, the older ones that are like late 20s, early 30s that have approached me as well here in New York and tried to flirt and all that. No. 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 Not interested. Don't care. Don't want to talk to you. Don't want to meet you. Like, and then they'll pick up on my vibe and think that I think I'm just too good for any man. Like, I'm too good for anyone. I think I'm better than, you know, everyone. I'm stuck up. I'm snobbish. I'm a bitch. All this. That's how they see it. They see it as bitchiness because of my boundaries. No, it's just stay away. Stay away. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to meet you anywhere. I'm not giving you my time of day. I'm not agreeing to meeting you anywhere in public. Just stay away from me. I'm not interested. I don't want a conversation. I don't care about your job. I don't care about how much money you make. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. And that's where I'm at. But yeah, a dude in my position, oh yeah. Oh no, like they would be out there, you know, trying to date as many women as possible, younger women, all that. No, fuck that. Because again, they would be benefiting. They would be benefiting from that. Getting all these women, sleeping with, oh, they would love that. Getting to sleep with like younger women, all this. Yeah, of course. Of course. For me, someone like me, that would be gross. You know, going out and meeting these younger dudes and sleeping with them, how would that benefit me? They'd probably give me a disease. They would treat me like shit. Even though they're younger and I'm like older, they would not respect me. They would treat me like shit. They would treat me like a fuck doll, like they treat younger women their age, all that. No, I'm not stupid. I see right through all of that. I'm not dumb. And then, you know, they'll tell women, oh, just date older guys that are more established, older than you. I'm like, they're going to treat me like shit too. Even if they're older and more mature, they're not more mature. They're not any more mature than that fucking 23, 24-year-old approaching me. They're not. Stop fucking lying to women. Stop lying to us. Do you know how many older, more mature guys have approached me in the workplace that were married, but yet they're older than me, they're more mature and established? No. Cheaters, liars. Stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. So even these good, mature men, cheaters, liars. Stay the fuck away from them. And yes, I do think I'm better than that. I think I'm better. I am stuck up. Stay away from me. I'm stuck up because I'm protecting myself from your stupid ass. And that's how I look at men. I say, oh, you want to approach me and act like you're different? You're not. You're not different than the rest of them. You're not. So stop trying to pretend you are, bitch. Get the fuck away from me. And that is how you walk in your power. Seriously. Because, like, they benefit from women's attention. They benefit from being with us. They literally do. But you don't. Like, you don't fucking benefit. You benefit from getting your own finances in order. You benefit from being as independent and autonomous you can. That's how you benefit as a woman. You do. Don't listen to, the red pill shit. Oh, you're just going to be barren and barren womb and barren and alone and unmarried. No man wants you. Don't listen to their fucking shit, because listening to that shit is going to get you with a narcissist. It's going to get you abused. It's going to get you cheated on, lied to, used, disrespected. Don't listen to anything they say about trying to make you be afraid or fear being alone. No, baby. Like, being alone is the best thing you can be, especially as a woman. Being alone. They always try to paint you as this crazy, witch or cat lady. It's all misogynist bullshit. Don't fucking listen to it. They basically what they're trying to say is you're taking away the potential resource for another man. And I don't even know that other man, but I'm going to defend him. I'm going to stand. That's how these men are, these misogynists. Pieces of shit. Oh, well, but you're taking away a potential sexual resource that a man could be, using to get his sexual needs fulfilled. Do you think I give a fuck? Do you think I give a flying fuck about some random dude's sexual needs, which aren't even needs, by the way? Sex is not a need. His resource? No. Fuck you. I'm not somebody's resource. I'm not somebody's fuck doll, sex doll, unpaid prostitute, which is basically what marriage is. Yeah, I said it. Listen, tell me this. How is marriage any different than prostitution? Tell me. Just tell me. Only with one guy. Explain the logic to me. Explain the logic. How is marriage any different than prostitution? It seems like sexual slavery to me. It seems like forcing a woman into a domestic situation with a man where he expects, like, on-demand sex. No, fuck that. Like, if I don't want to sleep with a guy, I'm never going to sleep with him. He's not going to touch me. If I don't want to, that's rape. But that's what these dudes want, They don't care if you're willing. They don't care if you're consenting to actually being with them. No. It's disgusting. It's a violation. It's a fucking violation. Do you think the dudes that I've dealt with before, even the good ones, so-called good ones that weren't narcissists, do you think they actually cared that I was uncomfortable when they tried to touch me or kiss me or get close to me? No, they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. They had no empathy. They did not care that they were making me uncomfortable. They didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck about my bodily autonomy, my bodily boundaries, my physical boundaries, my sexual boundaries. No, they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. They wanted what they wanted. They wanted to please themselves. They cared about their own pleasing themselves. They cared about their dicks. That's pretty much it. That's it. They don't care about you. They don't care about the woman in that dynamic. They care about themselves. That's right. Oh, God. But when I talk about these things, it's like somehow offensive. Even though it's the truth. So. Even though it's the fucking truth. And I see it exactly for what it is. You know, a lot of these women supposedly happy in relationships. I don't know. I completely doubt that. I completely doubt that. Like, I don't think any of them could be happy with these men, and especially in a patriarchy that we live in. No. No, it's a fucking patriarchy, like, that we live in. Where men are literally socialized since childhood to believe they're superior and better than women. In every way. And that they are entitled to our bodies, they are entitled to sex with us, they are entitled to dominate us, they are entitled to control us, they are entitled to use us for our bodies, for our wombs, everything. They're socialized for that. No, I'm not dealing with you. I'm not dealing with somebody who was socialized like that. Fuck no, I'm not stupid. Like, damn. Whereas, like, women are socialized to downplay ourselves. We're socialized to be, like, super humble and meek and like, oh, well, I'm not really all that, even though she could have just done something fucking amazing and solved some, you know, like, problem that none of the men in the room could figure out. Even if she understands, like, basics of physics or something more than they do, all that, she's gonna downplay it. Oh, well, I didn't really find that out. I didn't really do that. And the men are supposed to take credit. No. No, fuck that. And if we don't downplay ourselves enough, we're not feminine and no, fuck you. Fuck you. You're just mad. You're just trying to keep us down. You're just trying to oppress us as usual. Because they're scared of us. Like, they're scared of women. They're scared of us. They're scared of our intuition. They're scared that we're basically psychic, a lot of us. We can pick up on their intent, you know, energies, how they're trying to use us and manipulate us and all this shit. They don't like that. That's why they want to control us, oppress us, keep us down, take away our rights to abortion, our rights to our bodies, all that. But it's funny because if men could get pregnant, then there would be a 24-hour abortion clinic on every corner, I swear to God. But instead, since it's women that can get pregnant, that's why abortion has been made illegal in a lot of states. To control, to dominate, to trap women, to arrest women for murder. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. You think if that ever happened to men, like, no, they would be in the streets and the abortion ban would be gone overnight. But because it's us, that's why this shit is happening. And a lot of women are so weakened and have fallen for this shit. And they're still in relationships with these men who are anti-abortion, basically anti-women. Okay, they're against women's bodily rights and autonomy. I would never, ever be with a guy that ever thought for 1 second that a woman does not have a right to her own fucking bodily autonomy. I would tell you, get the fuck out of my face, go fuck yourself, go die somewhere. If I ever found out a guy had any belief like that, I would tell him to literally go die somewhere. Get the fuck away from me, get the fuck out of my face. Because they know damn well if the shoe was on the other foot, and they don't give a fuck about that baby or babies' lives. They don't give a fuck. I would look right at him in the eye. Like, seriously, these dudes, like I said, if they could get pregnant, there would be an abortion, there would be Plan B pills, there would be contraceptives on every corner, free handouts, free access. Whereas we women, we have to go through all these grueling appointments and, you know, procedures without painkillers and have a hard time getting access to a lot of birth control. A lot of it's expensive. Just making it hard. making everything so hard for us, you know, and our pain getting downplayed in the medical field, in the medical field, you know, our pain getting downplayed, not getting enough painkillers, whereas men get more than enough painkillers during procedures and more than enough, you know, excessive, you know, pain relief, and women don't hardly get any. And this has been documented and proven in clinical studies that women consistently don't get enough pain relief in hospitals. And when they're getting procedures done, they don't, because our pain is downplayed. Our suffering is downplayed in society and in hospitals, in medical procedures, in healthcare, you know, our pain is minimized and disregarded. It's disgusting. We're told that our pain is not real and to just deal with it. Oh, women give birth, you can deal with pain. No, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, as a New Yorker would say. Go fuck yourself. You want to fucking downplay me like that? Downplay my pain? Fuck you. Fuck you. You want to act like my pain isn't real and that I don't experience pain and suffering and you're the only one who's human and experiences pain and suffering? No, fuck yourself. We got to stop allowing these men to use us to, you know, absorb the pain and you know, of society, the suffering, and, you know, absorb their violence and their you know, anger. We're not absorbing shit, right? Stop doing this unpaid free emotional labor for these fuckers, you know? Like, stop, just stop. Let them do the emotional labor. Let them do the emotional lifting. Let them absorb some of that pain and suffering in society. Stop doing it. Stop absorbing all these emotions that aren't yours. You know, they try to get us to absorb their violence and, you know, their anger and all this stuff and just, you know, I don't know. They try to use women as the buffers to, you know, keep men, like, help them not be, like, so violent and angry all the time. Oh, they need a woman as an outlet and all this. No, I'm not going to be your fucking outlet. That's disgusting. Do you know, like, there have been, like, studies done on when men deal with, like sex robots and all that, and the things they do to them? Like, how they will bite them, they will hurt them, they will, like, leave some of them dismembered. I mean, do you know, like, how, you know, how much they destroy these robots when they have sex with them? That's what they want to do to us women. They want to hurt us during sex, you know. They want to, like, violate us. They want to, like, you know, rape us. They want to, like, fucking, you know, physically hurt us and like, torture us and, like, bite us and, like, you know, pull our hair and just hurt us. Like, no, you're not gonna fucking touch me. Like, you're not getting anywhere near me. After you see, like, what they've done to these robots, it's disgusting. Like, you are not going to hurt me. Like, you are not gonna fucking hurt me or touch me like that. No, get the fuck away from me. But it's during sex. No, it's not just during sex. It's because you want to hurt me. You want to be violent to me, and being in a sexual context has nothing to do with it. And that makes it even worse, actually. That you want to fucking put your hands on me like that and hurt me. And no, fuck you. They try to, like, cover it up and act like, oh, because it's during sex, it's not violence. Yes, it is, bitch. Yes, it is. Fuck out of here. These men, they constantly try to, like, downplay and act like it's not violence because it's during sex. Yes, it is. It's fucking violence. And you fucking hate women. Pieces of shit. You don't see women having the urge to hurt men, you know, and violate them like that. And it's just disgusting. I was out the other night. I walked outside my building. This creepy guy walked by, just a total predator. You know, I don't know if he was homeless. I don't think so. But he was just walking around, scanning the environment, looking for victims. Walked right past me. So creepy. So creepy. You know, like, imagine one night In New York City, all the men are off the streets. They have a curfew. Yes, they do need a curfew. They're off the streets. They're not allowed to walk the streets at night. Imagine how safe we women would feel walking around at night. Like, because men are the ones that make it dangerous at night. That's why we can't go out and walk around alone at night as women, because of men. So if all of them were off the streets after dark, we would feel so safe. We would be able to walk outside all we want at night alone. We would be so safe. Nothing, like, probably nothing would happen to us at night. Like, if all the men were just off the streets at nighttime, we could go outside, have a great time, be safe, walk around, not have to worry about rape, not have to worry about getting attacked. Imagine a night in New York City where all the men are off the streets. How safe we would feel as women. Just going out, walking around, going out to eat, walking down the street. I'd feel so safe. I would feel so safe if they were just off the streets at night. Instead of being allowed to hunt and prowl around and look for women victims, you know, to attack and target. Yeah. Get them off the fucking streets, you know? Stop telling us women that we can't be out in the streets at night like we're the problem. Oh, you can't go out late or something's gonna happen to you and it's gonna be your fault. No, get these fucking men off the fucking streets. Get them off the streets. They're the problem. They're the reason why it's dangerous for us women to walk around alone at night without a man to protect us at night. They're the reason. They're the problem. Get them off the fucking streets, not us. Why do we need to get off the streets? Because they're the ones out here attacking and harming us. No, get them off the fucking streets. Do you think that's ever gonna happen? No, because we live in a man's world and we live in a fucking patriarchy. Where men are valued more than women, even though they're committing 97% of the violent crime on this planet. They are the ones out here starting wars, unnecessary wars, unnecessary murders, unnecessary killing. They make up like 97, 98% of pedophiles, harming children, molesting children, raping children, all this. And we're the problem somehow? No. Come on, fuck out of here. It just makes me furious that we cannot critique them as a gender without getting shut down, you know, on Reddit or whatever, these male-dominated spaces. Because it's considered hate speech. It's not fucking hate speech. It's common sense, bitch. It's common sense. It's logic. Anyways, I'm getting kind of tired. I'm gonna hop off and get some sleep. I have a lot of errands to run today in New Jersey. I'm going over to Jersey. I like to call it Joyzy. That's what people call it, Joyzy. Jersey. And I have to get some things done over there. I also got into a car accident not long ago, so I have to pay like a couple thousand out of my pocket to get it fixed. It sucks. But I basically cracked my bumper. I had a hit and run in the front of my car too in Colorado. Some asshole, some piece of shit like hit my car and cracked the grill in the front. So I have to get that replaced anyway. So I have to get that done. And my whole back of my bumper, my back bumper got cracked in driving around New York the other day at this construction zone. The whole back got cracked by this truck. So I'm like, oh, this truck that was bigger than my car, obviously. My whole bumper at the back of it got cracked, so I have to fix that now, get that replaced, and it's gonna cost me probably like $2,000 out of pocket. Over like $2,500 out of pocket I have to pay to fix both of those things probably. And you guys know how it is as a woman trying to go to all these, you know, like auto body shops and ask for a quote because they see you're female and they're like, ooh, like, let's try to screw her. Let's try to, you know, scam her. So now I have to deal with the men at these shops tomorrow, which is fucking annoying. I have to go into all these alone and vulnerable as a female alone and ask them like, oh, how much is this going to be to fix? And I have met like maybe one or two good ones that were honest, but a lot of them are just, going to see you alone and vulnerable and take advantage. So I have to go to like all these shops tomorrow and get quotes, and it's going to be annoying and awkward because I'm going to be alone, and ask them for quotes to fix those things. And of course, most of them are going to like overcharge me way more than they would charge a man. So I have to like go to all these shops, and it's just like, ugh, by myself tomorrow to get the car fixed. So I'm not looking forward to that at all. But gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta get it fixed. So, especially if I'm gonna sell the car eventually, which I am, and get another one. So, anywho, I gotta hop off. So I hope you guys have a better week than I did from what I was saying. You know, in terms of like getting in an accident and all this stuff. It's crazy. It never ceases to amaze me. Like anytime I move to another city, like within the first month or two, I will get into an accident. Like, and I'm a really good driver. It's like, but every single time it's like when I move, to another city without fail within the first month or two, whether it was that hit and run where I wasn't even there and they hit my car, or I get into one, like within the first month or two, there's going to be an accident and my car is like going to get destroyed and I'm going to have to like pay to fix it. This happens every time I move. I don't know what it is. It's like a curse. Like within the first month or two, my car will get damaged and like I'll get into an accident. It's happened every single time. Fucking can't stand it. I don't know why it happens. Like, but my car, like, it's just bad luck with my cars, I guess. But like, I'll get into an accident and then have to fix it. First, like, because I was telling myself, I'm like, man, I've been driving around New York City for a while. Nothing has happened. And this city is crazy. The driving is crazy. So, like, I feel like pretty good. Nothing's happened yet. And then, like, I got into an accident the other day. So, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna hop off and get some sleep. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. And it is my birthday. So, I am gonna try to find something to do around New York City. I'm sure I'll find something to do. It's New York City. So to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, so I'm super, today. So yeah, I am a I am a cuspy. I am Pisces and Aries. So if you're born on the 21st, that means you are a mix of both signs. So I am half Pisces, half Aries. So that's pretty cool. I'm like a mix of both, which means the intuition of Pisces and the boldness and the adventurousness of Aries. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm like a cusper. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday in New York, and find some cool shit to do probably. And like I'll go to like Little Italy or something and get like a cannoli and like a coffee and figure it out from there. But yeah, I'm gonna probably chill somewhere there in Manhattan and I don't know, do something for my birthday. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. So yeah, that's my birthday weekend. And then going to see Ultra in Miami, which I'm super excited for, the EDM festival. And I get to see Carl Cox and like all my favorite DJs. Well, yeah, Carl Cox is one of the main ones I want to go there to see. I just love his music, but I get to go see all of those this month for my birthday. So that's like pretty much the best birthday present I could ask for, is to go to Ultra. So I have the ticket, I have the wristband, and it's gonna be pretty sweet, pretty sick, pretty dope. I'm gonna have a great time. I don't think Skrillex gonna be there. I don't know. Everybody knows Skrillex. But Deadmau5, all these like people are gonna be there, so I'm super excited. John Summit is another one that's playing Ultra. So I get to see like John Summit, like all these like, I don't know if Calvin Harris is gonna be there. I've seen Calvin Harris before a few times in Miami. I've seen Calvin Harris did I see Calvin Harris in New York? I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. That's like the best birthday present ever. is a ticket to Ultra. Like, and I got myself the ticket, so yeah. I didn't get it from some guy. I got myself a ticket for Ultra. So yeah, it's the best birthday present ever that I could have given myself. And I get to go to Ultra without the drama of some guy. Without the drama of some guy being like, oh, what are you wearing? Other guys are gonna look at you. Because you guys saw I had that rhinestone bustier that I was wearing in one of my videos that I love, that I'm gonna wear to the festival. All these like really cute clothes that I got just for the festival that I'm gonna wear. And if I was with a guy who would be like, oh, well, you can't wear that bustier because other guys are gonna be looking at you. And I'm just gonna be like, bitch, this is fucking Ultra. This is Ultra. This is where people, this is the one weekend where people go and they're flashy. They wear glitter, you know, they wear rhinestones. This is the place to do it. Out of all the festivals in the world, this is the one, this is the weekend to wear this shit and to dress up like this. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna have some dude being like, you can't wear that, you know, other guys are gonna look at you, they're gonna approach all this. Like, no, fuck off. I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna wear the bustier, I'm gonna wear the fishnets, I'm gonna wear the sparkly shit. I'm gonna be as sparkly as possible. Fuck you, go fuck yourself, kiss my ass, and I'm gonna wear what the hell I want and have a great time and listen to Carl Cox with my I'm gonna have these, what are those? High fidelity earplugs. I don't know, but it makes the sound better, more crisp. I'm gonna have those in my bustier, my sexy rhinestone bustier, my leather shoes, my leather skirts, and all this. And what the fuck are you gonna say about it? What the fuck some guy gonna say about it? What the fuck is some loser gonna say about it? Not a damn thing. Not a damn motherfucking thing. Because these same guys that want to try to control what you wear and talk about, oh, other guys are going to look, those are the same guys that are also checking out all the women in the crowd. So tell them to go fuck themselves and wear whatever the fuck you want and show up confident, have a good time. So yeah, that is my birthday, is Ultra Miami. So yeah, this year could not be better. It's probably going to be the best birthday that I will have in a decade, because I am spending it in both New York City, the center of the world, and then Miami, which is also an amazing global city, you know, surrounded by beautiful people from all over the world at a festival with some of the best DJs on the planet. So yes, it's going to be an incredible time, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's going to definitely be a much better birthday than a lot of people get to have. So I'm pretty grateful for that. So yeah, I am hoping that after this experience at Ultra that I end up going to Ultra every year after this, and continue to celebrate, continue to have a good time at Ultra Miami. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and getting to spend my birthday today in Manhattan, of all places. Just take a casual 5-minute drive. Oh, I'm in Manhattan. 5-minute drive, and walk around and celebrate right in Manhattan. So yeah, I am super excited and grateful for that. So yeah, you guys, I hope you have a good weekend, and stay safe. It's after St. Patty's Day, St. Patrick's Day. So all the craziness has dissipated from the New York streets in terms of tourists coming here to celebrate St. Patty's Day, and all the crazy drunk people in the street, that's gone. So I feel safe now. I can go out and walk around. But yeah, you guys, take it easy and have a good week.